Chapter 35. Matt navigated the corridors of Vista Ridge Memorial Hospital. He nodded to a passing nurse as he checked the room numbers. Room 312. The door was partially open. He heard low voices and Penny's distinctive laugh before he even entered. He pushed the door open to find Joe propped up against a mound of pillows, looking better than expected. Penny sat curled up in the room's only decent chair, her legs tucked beneath her, looking perfectly at home. "Am I interrupting story time?" Matt asked, setting down the paper bag containing a contraband breakfast burrito he'd smuggled in, Joe's favorite from Taco Haven. "Matt!" Penny's face lit up. She uncurled herself from the chair and crossed to him, giving him a quick kiss. "Look what the cat dragged in," Joe said, his voice rough but stronger than Matt had feared. "Please tell me that's real food in that bag." Matt placed the bag on Joe's tray. "Don't tell the nurses. I don't want to get banned from visiting." "You're a lifesaver," Joe said, opening the bag and inhaling deeply. Hospital breakfast was disappointing. "Where's Bree?" Matt asked. Penny returned to her chair. "She's gone home to look after the kids and get some sleep. She's exhausted." "She needed the break," Joe agreed between bites of burrito. "And the kids were starting to worry." "Joe's been telling me stories about the two of you," Penny added with a mischievous smile. "Great," Matt said, shooting Joe a look that promised retribution. "Just what I need. You sharing my greatest hits." "Hey," she asked, Joe said. "And I only told her the ones that make you look good." "Somehow I doubt that," Matt said, pulling up a chair from against the wall. "How are you feeling, really?" Joe's smile faded slightly, like I got hit by a truck. "When do you get out of here?" Matt asked. Joe motioned to the door leading to the hall. "As soon as I see the doctor, I hope. The nurses seem to think he'll let me go home today." Matt noticed the array of flowers and cards on the windowsill. Most were from the department, but he spotted a hand-drawn card that could only have come from Joe's 7-year-old daughter. "What's new?" Joe asked. "We got a break of sorts," Matt said. "Our suspect drives a 2011 or later model Toyota Camry. Kat's team was able to enhance the security video. We've got a usable image of the vehicle." Joe's eyes lit up. "License plate?" Matt shook his head. "No luck there, but we've got the make, model, and color." "I know you've looked. How many vehicles are we talking about?" Joe asked. "If you include all colors, about 35,000. Ours is white, so maybe 5,000. In the county?" "Yes. After learning the vehicle details, I reached out to the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles and obtained a list of all the 2011 and later Toyota Camrys registered in Vista Ridge County," Matt explained, then narrowed the list by eliminating all the vehicles except the white ones. 5,000 is still a lot," Joe said, grimacing. "Any ideas for narrowing it down further?" "Not yet," Matt admitted. "I'm not fond of the idea of trying to track down 5,000 vehicles. We could run all the registered owners through NCIC, see if anyone pops with a violent history, but that's still a shot in the dark." "What about geographical distribution?" Penny suggested. "Map the owners against the crime scenes. See if there are any clusters." Both men looked at her with surprise. "What?" she asked. "I watch crime shows." "How about cross-referencing with Vista Ridge High School? Staff, parents, anyone with a connection," Matt suggested. "Good thinking," Joe said. "What about Becky Johnson's case? Any progress there?" "Nothing significant," Matt said. Joe rubbed his forehead. "I can see I need to get out of here. We've got too much ground to cover." "You're going home to rest," Penny interjected firmly. "Doctor's orders. The case will still be there when you're cleared to return." Joe nodded in Penny's direction. "She's bossy." "I've noticed," Matt said with a small smile. Matt left Joe with Penny and decided at the last moment to swing by Hira's residence. A housekeeper answered the door. "I'll let Miss Barbara know you're here," she said after examining Matt's credentials. The name Barbara emphasized as if making a small, silent protest against the household's goddess fixation. The housekeeper led Matt to a set of double doors. Matt thanked her and pushed open the doors. Hira sat upon a throne in the middle of the room. She wore a flowing white chiton, the fabric gathered at one shoulder with a gold clasp, leaving the other shoulder bare. A golden laurel crown rested atop her perfectly styled hair, and gold cuffs encircled both wrists. Kneeling before her was Andrew, his gangly teenage frame draped in what appeared to be a Greek robe. He bent over Hera's foot with the concentration of a surgeon, cotton balls wedged between her toes as he meticulously applied a deep red polish. "Agent Barry," Hera called out, "you wanted to see me?" "Just following up on our previous conversation," Matt replied. She gestured gracefully toward a nearby chair. "You don't mind, do you? We've started, and I hate to stop in the middle," she said, wiggling her toes slightly. "Andrew has such a delicate touch." Andrew's ears reddened at the compliment, but his eyes remained downcast, focused entirely on his sacred task. "Take your time," Matt said, settling into the offered seat. He noticed several other chairs arranged in a semicircle facing the throne. Seating for an audience, he realized. He wondered how many worshippers regularly attended these sessions. "Would you care for refreshment?" Hera asked. "Andrew, summon Daphne." Without looking up, Andrew reached for a small golden bell beside him and rang it once. Almost immediately, a side door opened and a teenage girl entered. She wore a similar white tunic to Andrew's, though hers was more elaborate, with gold embroidery along the hem. "How may I serve, goddess?" she asked, her eyes cast downward. "Nectar for our guest," Hera commanded, "and perhaps ambrosia if he desires it." Matt blinked. "Water is fine." Hera smiled indulgently. "Sparkling water with honey and lemon for Agent Barry," she translated to Daphne. Daphne bowed slightly and retreated through the side door. Matt nodded toward Andrew. "Your followers seem devoted." "They are," she agreed, a note of pride in her voice. "Andrew has been with me since the beginning. Haven't you, dear one?" Andrew nodded without looking up. "I have, goddess." "Now, you mentioned following up. I assume this is about that threatening phone call I reported?" Matt refocused on the purpose of his visit. "It is. Has there been anything else? Any more calls?" Hera shook her head. "Nothing. I'm sure it was just a crazy lady. I have a lot of haters, usually by email, however. You know, trolls on the internet." "People are jealous of the goddess," Andrew murmured, carefully blotting excess polish from Hera's pinky toe. "People fear what they don't understand," Hera corrected, "and divinity is beyond the comprehension of most mortals." Daphne returned with a tray, setting a crystal glass of sparkling water, garnished with lemon and a drizzle of honey, and a small plate of cookies on the table beside Matt. She bowed again and retreated to stand silently against the wall, hands clasped before her, awaiting further instructions. Matt took a sip of the water and returned to his questioning. "Has anyone approached you in person? Any strange encounters at school or elsewhere?" "My followers protect me at school," Hera said. "I'm rarely alone." Andrew raised his head slightly, careful not to look at Hera. "May I speak, goddess?" "You may," she granted with imperial benevolence. "There was the car," Andrew said. Matt's interest sharpened. "What car?" "I didn't actually see it," Hera said, examining her freshly painted toes with approval. "Andrew did." Matt turned his attention to Andrew, who had finished the pedicure and was now carefully replacing the polish and tools in a golden box. "A white car," Andrew explained. "I've seen it a couple times, sort of lurking around." "What do you mean by lurking around?" "It's been parked down the street," Andrew explained. "When I drive up, it takes off." It gave me a strange feeling. "What kind of car?" Matt asked hopefully, thinking of the white Toyota Camry they were searching for. "I don't know cars well," Andrew admitted, looking embarrassed by this failure to serve his goddess properly. "I've only seen it twice. It's a sedan, I think. Not very big, not very small." "Could it have been a Toyota Camry?" Matt asked. Andrew's brow furrowed in concentration. "Maybe. It was white and ordinary. Nothing special about it." "Did you see the driver?" Matt asked. Andrew shook his head. "The windows were tinted, but then yesterday I saw it again. Same spot. This time when it drove away, I tried to follow it, but I lost it at the intersection near the school." "What time of day was this?" "After school both times, around 4:30 or 5. "Can you remember anything else about the car? Any damage, stickers, partial license plate?" Andrew closed his eyes, clearly struggling to recall details, then shook his head. "Sorry." Matt pressed Andrew for more details, but the teenager couldn't describe the make of the vehicle or the person driving with any more precision. I appreciate you both telling me, Matt said. If you see the car again, don't approach it. Call me immediately. He handed Andrew one of his cards. Day or night? Matt stared at his phone for a long moment before making the call. Asking Kat for another favor was the last thing he wanted to do. He punched her number and held the phone to his ear. Kat answered on the third ring. Special Agent Barry, she answered. It's Matt, he said. Got a minute? He heard her excuse herself, followed by the sound of a door closing. When she spoke again, her tone had shifted to the mix of affection and exasperation she reserved for Matt. I was in the middle of a briefing, she said. This better be good. Matt straightened. I need another favor. What now? I have reason to believe our perp is conducting surveillance on another potential victim. I want the Bureau to stake the residence. The line went silent. You know I can't just deploy agents on a whim, she said finally. The Bureau has procedures, protocols. People are dying, Kat. And I need more than your gut feeling to justify a surveillance operation. 3 kids dead, Kat. All from the same school. All connected to that God's group. Now we've got a credible threat against another one. What have you got? She asked finally. Matt told her about Hira and the suspicious white car, detailing his recent visit and Andrew's observations. He described the threatening phone call, the timeline, and how it fit with their developing profile of the killer. Seriously, Matt? Kat sounded unconvinced. It's probably a jealous boyfriend or one of her whacked-out worshippers. The timing fits, Matt insisted. The white car matches what we're looking for. And Hera was close to both Merrick and Black. So were a lot of kids at that school. Are you willing to take that chance? If I'm right and we do nothing, there's going to be another dead teenager. And this time, we'll have had warning. The silence that followed felt heavy. Finally, he heard her sigh. Damn it, Matt. Look, I can't justify a full stakeout team. Not yet, but I do have an idea. I'm listening. I'll have a surveillance camera mounted on the street somewhere near the house. With a relay system, we can monitor it remotely from the office. It won't catch everything, but it should give us eyes on any suspicious vehicles hanging around. That's something, Matt acknowledged. And you'll have someone monitoring the feed? We'll set up an alert system. Any vehicle that stays parked too long or makes multiple passes triggers a notification. Matt felt some of the tension leave his shoulders. Thanks, Kat. I owe you. You already owed me, she reminded him. This just adds to your tab. A small smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. That was the sister he knew. Keeping score, always making sure he understood the transaction. Call me when it's set up, he asked. Fine, Kat conceded. Matt stopped at Vista Ridge High and caught Principal Fogg in his office. I need a list of all the Toyota Camrys authorized to park on this campus. Teachers and students, Matt said. Fogg didn't ask questions. He led Matt to his assistant, Betty Jones. This officer needs a list of all the Toyota Camrys registered to park on this campus. Teachers and students. Can you do that? Fogg asked. Ms. Jones considered the question. I don't see why not. It might take me a minute or two to figure it out, she said. Fogg left Matt in Ms. Jones's care. Matt waited while she constructed the computer printout list he wanted. After 30 minutes, she said, Finally, here it is. Matt crossed behind her and looked at the list on the screen. How many are there? A page and a half. 50, maybe. That's great, teachers and students? Everybody. She printed out the list and handed it to him. I hope this is helpful, she said. His next task was pure drudgery. He ran each of the vehicles on the list and eliminated any vehicle not white and earlier than 2011. He was left with 8 vehicles and 8 potential suspects.